Morning, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well. End Times Productions, name of the channel. Maybe mentioned it before. Don't know. Think I've. Will have been a while back if I did. Valentine's Day is actually insane. Is the name of the video. So I mentioned this to someone the other day. Valentine's Day is satanic, and she said, "You think?" I said, I know it's satanic." Um, I've looked into Valentine's Day before, to be honest. Yeah, I mean, I think there was a big massacre on Valentine's Day. Was it Al Capone massacred a load of people in New York, possibly in a restaurant? Was that correct? Um, yeah, it's a satanic ritual. It's age old. Again, people like, not again. Well, unfortunately, this is the crack. You know what I mean? Christmas isn't fucking to do with Christianity, more to do with fucking Nimrod or Baal or something, and yeah, fucking none of these things that we celebrate are anything to do with what we actually think. They're mostly satanic, to be honest, or fucking Luciferian or occultist or whatever. But yeah, that's kind of the crack here with the majority of things. This man might prove it. So there's plenty of videos. If you just typed in a Valentine's Day is satanic in the search bar there, I'm sure you'll get hundreds of videos explaining how Valentine's Day is satanic. I mean, do you want me to try it and see how many we get? Hold on. So here we are. Valentine's Day is satanic, is what I typed. It's not about love here. Taylor Alicia, the dark truth about Valentine's Day. Um, Valentine's Day is satanic because history of Valentine's Day, a pagan holiday. The truth about Valentine's Day, satanic origins. Is Valentine's Day satanic? Is Valentine's Day actually a celebration of love or rooted in paganism? The dark truth behind Valentine's Day, satanic origins. Valentine's Day, dark pagan origins, dark origin of Valentine's Day. So as you can see here, I wasn't making it up yet again here. I tell no lies. I tell no lies. Type in Valentine's Day is satanic, and you'll get quite a lot of videos explaining to you why Valentine's Day is satanic. Well, we're going to go with End Time Productions here. And again, I meant to make this video before Valentine's Day, really, but then you just get people who are all sort of, you know what I mean? You say everything's satanic. Well, that's because it kind of is, you know what I mean? That's the world we live in here. If you pull down the veil, we've been fucked. We've been fucked from every angle here, it would seem, mostly by the Satanists. There's a clue there. There's a clue in it. So I'll listen to this anyway, see what's going down here.
If you ask most people and you're like, hey, do you know the true history of Valentine's Day? Where did it start? What are the origins of Valentine's Day? They're going to tell you something, something, Saint Valentine. But that's just the surface level. The whole thing goes way deeper than that. It goes back thousands of years to a festival that was called the Lupercalia. Now, what did they do in that festival? We're going to get into it, but let's just say it's the same thing that Jeffrey Epstein was doing on his island. The same stuff. And not just the sexual stuff too, but also the human sacrifice part of it. So Valentine's Day isn't some, light, fun holiday that is celebrated to be today. It's far darker and far more evil than most people want to believe. The video that you're about to watch right now, I made it back in, I think it was 2018. And I'm not sure why it's not on my channel anymore. I forgot, but I'm putting it back up. So if you've seen it already, feel free to watch it again. Share it with people, because most people don't really understand how dark Valentine's Day really is.
Here is a Valentine story.
Ah, February. Love is in the air. Every year around this time, Americans flock to the nearest Walmart and spend their hard-earned money on stuff they don't need. According to the National Retail Foundation, Americans are poised to drop a cool $19.6 billion on Valentine's Day this year. But why? Where does this holiday come from, and why do so many people celebrate it? As it turns out, the truth about Valentine's Day is far more sinister than most people realize. To find its true origins, we must go all the way back to ancient Babylon. It is here where the figure we know as Cupid emerges. The name Cupid comes from the Latin verb cupere, meaning to desire. Cupid was the son of Venus, the Roman goddess of beauty and love. Originally known as Tammuz and Ishtar, This mother and son couple are the progenitors of all pagan religions on earth today. In this ancient Babylonian writing, we can see the true identity of Tammuz revealed. Quote, "The little demons and the great demons cried aloud. Demons and their companions cried aloud. Our heroic Lord, he who was seized away, forsake us not. Tammuz, our Lord, was seized away, forsake us not." End quote. Yes, you heard that correctly. Tammuz is being referred to as the Lord of Demons. In this 1914 book entitled Tammuz and Ishtar, the author S. Langdon gives us more detail about the true identity of Tammuz. Quote, "The litanies and the theological lists refer to Tammuz by a title which occurs as frequently as any other, and which I have reserved for a separate treatment. For in this title we have evidence that this deity was connected with serpent worship. It is true that this connection is to be regarded as prehistoric and one which was forgotten in the age when our sources begin. For not only is Tammuz called the great serpent dragon, but the same title is more than once applied to the mother goddess herself. The title in Sumerian is God, a name which is regarded by the theologians apparently as the most important of all the titles of Tammuz. The name should mean the great serpent of heaven." End quote. The great serpent of heaven. Where have we heard that before? Revelation chapter 12, verse 9. "And the great dragon was cast out, that old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceiveth the whole world. He was cast out into the earth, and his angels were cast out with him." Mythology describes Tammuz as having both a cruel and a happy personality. He would use his invisible arrows tipped with gold to strike unsuspecting men and women, causing them to fall in love. He did not do this for their benefit, but to drive them crazy with intense passion and to make their lives miserable and laugh at the results. Famously, Tammuz used the love arrow on his own mother, causing her to fall madly in love with him. Mother and son got married, and the story of Cupid was born. Quote, "In Babylonian religion, the earth goddess was regarded as the mother and wife of Tammuz. That the son should be also the lover of the goddess is explained on the assumption that in ancient society, the imperial power descended through the female line. In that case, the heir to a throne is the daughter of a king. To retain a throne, the son of a king must marry his sister, or, failing a sister, his own mother. In the Sumerian myth, we have both circumstances represented. In the Egyptian version, Isis is the sister of her husband Osiris. In Sumer, the original myth represented the mother goddess as the mother of Tammuz." End quote.
Now, further down in the story, as Tammuz grows and becomes a man, Tammuz actually marries his mother, and they have a very sexual relationship. And that baby Tammuz and his mother Semiramis is where you get the story of Cupid.
So now that we know where Cupid comes from, let's take a look at Valentine's Day itself.
The association between mid-February and romance goes back to a pagan festival known as Lupercalia, likely honoring either Lupa, the she-wolf of Rome, who suckled Romulus and Remus, or Faunus, their god of fertility. The festivities began with an animal sacrifice. Then the ritualistic slapping of young women with strips of the animal's skin and blood to bestow fertility for the coming year.
Alberta Mildred Franklin writes this in her 1921 book entitled The Lupercalia. Quote, "These occasions are celebrated by the worshippers with extravagant orgies of mourning and of joy. In the death and the resurrection of the deity, the people find assurance of human immortality. Much of the homage offered by this agricultural people to its earth goddess consists of fertility charms to arouse the dormant powers of productivity or to secure rain for the crops. But often, the goddess withholds her blessing and sends barrenness, blight, and pestilence upon her people. To avert these destructive forces and to set free all beneficent activities, the devotees resort to strange orgiastic practices. Often, they seek to propitiate the dread goddess by the sacrifice of a human being. End quote. Most people are completely unaware of this link between humans.
Yeah. So sorry to interrupt here. I don't want to interrupt too much because it's quite educational. You know what I mean? I can't really add anything to it. I'm not schooled specifically in all this. In detail, I'm kind of aware of it, but not in detail. I'm kind of learning stuff myself here as well, to be honest. What I was going to mention was that obviously you mentioned there about a sacrifice, again, Valentine's Day, which was yesterday. All the Satanists in the world will have been, well, the Luciferians, the Satanists are kind of what they pretend like is the crack, like moshes. It's more Luciferianism kind of crack. But anyhow, all this occult, fucking dark shit, weird clubs that we kind of seen in the Epstein video I just made there about secret societies, all these sort of secret societies, Luciferian, that do rituals, etc. And again, so what I'm saying is there was probably a ritual last evening. Not one, I mean, there'll be many all over the world for all these people that are all over the world. They'll have done some sort of ritual last night on the 14th. Again, with it being Valentine's Day, one of their satanic holidays. And it talked of sacrifice there, so yeah, somebody was probably sacrificed last night. Again, you might find that hard to believe, but that is probably what happened, that somebody was, more than one person as well, to be honest, throughout the world, wherever these people were having their little sick parties, the people probably were sacrificed, as that's part of the crack, do you know what I mean, for them. Not us. I mean, we think here, or people think Valentine's Day here is to do with love and Cupid, when really look who Cupid is. He was a fucking person who married his mother, etc. You know what I mean? Incestuous relationships, etc. So yeah, again, it's like this with a lot of things. People, again, like Christmas is nothing to do with Christianity. So very interesting. I found it's very interesting so far. There's only 5 minutes left. I might as well play it. Hold on.
Sacrifice and Valentine's Day. Let's continue. Pausanias, an ancient Greek geographer and historian, tells us that, quote, a child was sacrificed, his blood sprinkled upon the altar, and his entrails tasted sacramentally by the priest.
Right, so I'm just going to interrupt here. So we've talk of, I mean, this was mentioned in the Epstein files, and somebody saying that they killed a baby and they ate the entrails and his intestines, and feces was in the intestines. This was literally said in the Epstein files, and it's absolutely horrible and sick, and you would wish that wasn't happening, and obviously there isn't any physical evidence of it. So as I said at the time, you kind of take that with a pinch of salt, but I mean, you kind of have to, because we've got no evidence. But a child was sacrificed, his blood sprinkled upon the altar, and his entrails tasted sacramentally by the priest. So here it is, part of the ritual. That's a long old ritual. It's nothing new, this what you're reading here. Yeah, and this was actually mentioned in the Epstein files by somebody that they were doing this and eating kids. So again, it adds it doesn't prove that was true, but it you know what I mean, it adds a bit of fuel to the fire, that this is part of a ritual that these people do, and that person maybe wasn't lying. And again, I mean, another thing is why would you make up such a thing? And if you're going to make something up, why would it be so mental to the point that even someone like me, who kind of knows what goes on, struggles to believe it? So it probably is true. Do you know what I mean? That's because he was just telling the truth, and that's how fucking mental it is. And here we have not so much evidence, but we have mentions of sacrificing and eating babies as part of a ritual, specifically to do with Valentine's Day. Yeah, it's dark shit. Again, I've said this long ago. It's real dark shit. And then when you start getting into what's going on, it's nightmare fuel, isn't it? Like nightmare fuel, really. And again, all this is kind of proven in the Epstein files that this is what's going on as well. If you like really, again, watch all the videos of people digging through all these files, and you've got to connect a couple of dots here. It's like with the code words, pizza and hot dog and jerky. Obviously, these people, and in the aftermath, they're not going to admit it. They are all going to lie about this. It's all real dark, depraved stuff. But yeah, child sacrifice and eating babies mentioned in a ritual here.
Thereupon, say the legends, he who had tasted the entrails was transformed into a werewolf for a period of 9 years. End quote.
Yeah, it flashed up there, Skinwalker. Again, the Skinwalker Ranch as well, if people are aware of, I think it's Skinwalker Ranch in America, with a lot of mysterious things happen. Yeah, they'll turn into a werewolf for 9 years, apparently. I mean, I don't know about that, but yeah, mental, isn't it? Absolutely mental. Play the end of it anyway.
Werewolves, human sacrifice, incest, and orgies. These are all reasons why we should avoid celebrating Valentine's Day. But we're not done yet. As mentioned, the Romans celebrated Lupercalia to honor the hunter god Lupercus. To the Greeks, from whom the Romans had copied most of their mythology, Lupercus was known as Pan, the god of light. The Phoenicians worshipped the same deity as
Pan kind of mentioned this in the whole Peter Pan video I made quite a long time ago, to be honest. Yeah, Pan, Peter Pan, and also like the dark origins of Peter Pan. Again, a lot of these nursery rhymes as well, like the real have dark origins, you know what I mean? And they've been changed again slightly to be more palatable to kids and society. But you go back to the original tales of most of these nursery rhymes or things like this, and yeah, they're pretty dark, to be honest. Again, when like thinking everything is satanic, because it kind of is when you look into it, you know what I mean?
Is Baal, the sun god. Baal was one of many names or titles for Nimrod, a mighty hunter, especially of wolves. Defying God, Nimrod was the originator of the Babylonian mystery religions, whose myth.
Yeah, I think Baal and Nimrod are the same person, by the way. I think he was Nimrod, and then I'm not sure, but I think possibly the Nimrod and Baal are the same person.
Mythologies have been copied by the Egyptians, the Greeks, the Romans, and a multitude of peoples around the world. Under different names or titles: Pan, Lupercus, Saturn, Osiris, Tammuz. Nimrod is the strongman and the hunter-warrior god of the ancients. Now, let's move on to the heart symbol and why we associate it with Valentine's Day and love. The title Baal means Lord or Master, and is mentioned throughout the Bible as the god of the pagans. God warned his people not to worship or even tolerate the ways of Baal. In the ancient Chaldean language, which is the original language of the Babylonians, Baal, which is similar to Baal, meant heart. So there you have it, historical proof that the holiday we know as Valentine's Day is nothing but an ancient ritual repackaged for modern times.
Yeah, that's what Christmas is as well, to be honest. We've been through that. So yeah, there is... how long's left here? 2. Should I play it? Okay.
5th century, perhaps in an effort to Christianize the pagan festival, Pope Gelasius declared February 14th as St. Valentine's Day. As for the real St. Valentine, there were reportedly several canonized by the Church. Legend has it that one St. Valentine, a defiant Roman priest, lived during the 3rd century AD under Emperor Claudius II. Claudius was an ambitious ruler. His battles required vast armies of men to abandon their young families for long periods of time. resulting in a military that was half-hearted and homesick. So determined was Claudius to stop love from sapping the will of his armies, he banned marriages altogether. Father Valentine thought the ban unjust and defied the emperor, continuing to marry young lovers in secret. The emperor eventually caught on to the priest's actions, arrested him, and sentenced him to death.
So there it is, guys, Valentine's Day. What do you think about this video? Please put it in the comments below. Tell everybody how you feel. I want to hear your opinions. I want to read your opinions.
Well, yeah, you bang on, Paul. You bang on. Plenty more videos online, as I mentioned there, if you want to why Valentine's Day is satanic. Well, this guy does his research, and he's quite knowledgeable. Again, got a big channel, been going for years. So, again, believe it or not, if you want, I suppose. But yeah, I just thought I'd mention it. Valentine's Day is satanic. It's dark. Its origins of, as usual, like Christmas, are not what we're told. I'll leave it there anyhow. Peace.